Kisah Indonesia dan Israel pada masa Soekarno. Terima kasih Anda masih mengikuti wawancara Fakta Israel dengan Dr. Moshe Yegar.
And then about the military from Russia, bought by Indonesian during the Soeharto times.
What, the weapons?
Yeah, the weapons.
I think it started before, even during this strange fellow Soekarno.
Okay.
The generals did it. I'm not sure it even reached Soekarno. They had a place where they could buy weapons, and they bought it cheap because it fell into our hands.
I thought this one is from the 6-Day War.
Before the Sinai campaign.
Oh. Okay.
The first time that the Egyptians lost big quantities of weapons that they left behind and fled away was during the Sinai campaign of 56, 57. Then came the 6-Day War, a tremendous amount. The 6-Day War, they lost hundreds of millions, if not more, worth of Russian weapons. The Russians had to send the whole thing all over again. Then came the Yom Kippur War.
Okay.
And during the Yom Kippur War, I had the opportunity to tour the Israeli-Egyptian border along the Sinai campaign and deep into Egypt. I went into the Egyptian territory that in those days was in our hands. I saw spread. I was during the war itself. The war did not end, and I was allowed to go there. It was special arrangement, and I saw the huge quantities of weapons thrown around. Part of it was still in the crates, packed. Part was on lying on the floor. I didn't believe that an army that has such huge quantities of weapons would leave it and fly away instead of taking it and fighting with. But
why Egyptian army left the weapon?
It's a great question. You see, when you look at the phenomenon of terror, those terrorists are not afraid. Many of them know that they are going to commit an act of terror and they will lose their life. They will not return home alive, and still they do it.
Yeah.
And there is no end. Every day you hear about it. So it will be a mistake to say that the Arabs are cowards. They are not cowards. The question is, for what are they ready to risk their life? A soldier of any country, if he has no cause that he thinks it's worth fighting for, he will not fight. Now, the Arabs somehow were never inspired by their own propaganda against Israel. They themselves don't believe what they talk about Israel, what they spread in the world and to their own people. For this, they will not fight. The regular armies. Individuals fight for religious reasons. They believe that if they fall in the act of terror, while committing an act of terror, they will reach heaven.
Yeah, with 70
virgins.
Yeah.
Well, to receive 70 virgins, it's a hard labor. It's not easy. It's not easy. You need for that much energy and much time. But for 70 virgins, maybe it's worth it. So they are ready. It does not sound very logical to us.
Yeah.
But our religion is different, our look at the world is different, our outlook of the world is different. Muslims are different, especially those who are religious. And And we have it in all religions, that for religion, a fanatic is ready to sacrifice his life. So the terrorists belong to that kind of humanity, that in order to kill an enemy, to kill a kafir, you know what it is?
Yeah, kafir, yeah.
To kill a kafir, it's worth risking your own life. The army, the officers, the felachin, the peasants were taken to the army, don't think that in order to kill an Israeli soldier, it's worth losing his life. He wants to go home. So the moment fire starts, throw away. This is the difference between army and terror.
Yeah. So it's funny why Indonesia bought from Israel, and then they know this belong to the loser country. It's funny, right?
Yeah, it's true. It's unrational.
Yeah.
But when religion comes in, you may expect an irrational behavior.
Yeah.
It's not necessary, but may happen. I believe that if, for instance, the Indonesian government would have declared one day, we look for volunteers to go and fight against Israel, I'm not sure they'll get many Indonesians who will do it. I'm not sure. There will be a certain number, there is always a certain number. Morocco participated in 2 wars against Israel, and their soldiers, which are good soldiers, the French may tell you, because they rebelled against France and they caused the French army, which is the first-rate army, they caused the French great difficulties. When they came here to Ramata, they were sent to Ramata Golan, nobody heard of them. Nobody. We did not capture Moroccan prisoners of war, which means it was told that they came there. They were not there. We captured Russians, Russian advisors, but we did not capture Moroccans. Where were they?
They were afraid to come?
I think they felt it's not their business what's happening here.
So they must be
It's
clever.
my impression. I'm not an expert. You have to ask. You have to ask military historians who made the research. But it's interesting. You see, Saudi Arabian soldiers, several times Saudi Arabia declared that she is fighting with the Arabs. We never met Saudis.
Yeah.
Not even in the War of Independence, where we know that they sent a brigade. We met Iraqis. Iraqis fought hard. Syrians, Lebanese, Egyptians, Sudanese. Never Saudis. So never Libyans. The Libyans had their leader, what's his name was, not Numeri. Numeri is from Sudan. Anyhow, the propaganda, the Libyan propaganda, Gaddafi. Propaganda against Israel was very vocal. In the battlefield, we didn't see them. So it's interesting to compare whom did you see and whom you don't see. That's why I'm optimistic that if we found a certain number of ulama that will be ready to publish such a fatwa, and you need courage for that. It's not easy to do. The criticism that will fall upon their heads will be heavy. But if they will insist, they can get results.
Yeah. Thank you. So
and if you have such friends in Indonesia,
bring them to your
try
house.
to find out if they are created of the right kind of metal.
Yeah. Have you been to Indonesia?
No, I couldn't.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, my government didn't allow me. They were not sure how I'll be treated.
Okay then.
That I'm official and diplomat of the Israeli government, that's too risky.
Okay then.
Because someone in Indonesia may decide to lay a hand on me and keep me in jail.
Okay.
It will be a great patriotic Indonesian action on behalf of the Arabs. The Arabs will make a festival out of it. Professor is less dangerous, but not an official, so I was not allowed.
Okay.
I wanted to because I traveled very often around Indonesia. I was in Singapore, Thailand, all these countries I visited very often during the years that I dealt with Asian affairs. India, Sri Lanka, everywhere. Malaysia I was not allowed to, and Indonesia. And Maldives Islands we visit, even today.
Have you traveled
if
to...
I travel there, where
like
I could.
Egypt or Jordan?
Lebanon I entered without troops.
Without troops, okay.
Yeah, it was a war. Egypt I visited without troops.
Okay.
But now I can go there as a tourist. Israelis go there in big numbers. Jordan I visited as a tourist. And I was allowed. I mean, Israelis do visit. Jordan and Egypt are visited. Lebanon not any longer, but during the war, when we captured Beirut, many Israelis went there. Syria, no. Iraq, no. Libya, no. Algeria, no.
Okay.
Tunisia, yes, I've been to Tunis.
Yeah.
I visited Tunis. They allowed us to come. Extremely interesting country.
Mari bergabung bersama Tur Fakta Israel pada Desember 2023 ini. Salam damai dari Fakta Israel.